Hello, my name is Dr. Susan Blank, and I'm an endocrinologist who works with the Virginia Department of Health. Thank you for joining me for this learning session, which is part of the Virginia Healthy Hearts Initiative. This learning session is part of a series that we are calling Heart Healthy Hacks that's going to focus on practical things that you can do in your day-to-day life to support a heart-healthy lifestyle. Today, we're going to be talking about how to set things up to make the healthy choice the easy choice so you don't have to rely so much on willpower. Let's get started. I want to start by acknowledging that it can be incredibly challenging to live a heart-healthy lifestyle in our current environment. We are constantly surrounded by temptation in the form of food that is heavily marketed and highly engineered to be delicious and craveable, as well as entertainment options, including streaming services, video games, and social media that encourage us to sit on the couch instead of getting outside and being physically active. Because of this, it can feel like we're constantly fighting willpower battles to make healthy choices. Unfortunately, we don't have much control over the external environment, but what we do have some control over is our own individual environments, especially at home. And what we can do is to try to set things up to make the healthy choice the easy choice so we don't have to rely as much on willpower. This is a quote from habit expert James Clear on this topic. It says, "The more disciplined your environment is, the less disciplined you need to be. Don't swim upstream." The goal is to make your home a haven of healthy choices so you don't have to rely as much on willpower. And to do this, you want to set yourself up for success by making healthy choices at the grocery store. As this little cartoon says, you want to fight your willpower battles at the store so that you don't have to fight them at home. And this starts even before you go to the store. You want to plan out your meals and make a grocery list. You want to make sure that you've had a recent meal or snack so that you're not shopping on an empty stomach. And you can also consider chewing gum. There's some small studies that show that chewing sugar-free gum while you grocery shop can reduce cravings and cut back on impulse purchases. It's really important to understand that a lot of time and effort and money has gone into designing the grocery store and product placement in an effort to try to get you to buy as much as possible, and especially to buy as much as possible of the products with the highest profit margins, which are usually the ultra processed foods. So it's really important to go into the grocery store with a plan. The first thing I recommend is to commit to sticking with your grocery list. Another good idea is to stick primarily to the perimeter of the grocery store and walk primarily along those outer edges because that's where grocery stores tend to keep their whole, unprocessed foods, including fruits and vegetables, dairy, and meats. You only really want to go down those inner aisles of the grocery store if you're looking for something specific on your grocery list and you want to just go in, get what you need, and get out, because those inner aisles are where they keep the majority of the packaged and processed foods, and you're much more likely to be tempted to add some of those things to your cart if you're wandering around amidst the chips and cookies. Another thing to consider doing is ordering groceries online for pickup or delivery. I initially tried this early in COVID when the virus was circulating widely and there was concern about whether it was safe to be shopping in public spaces. But as a side benefit, I found that it really cut down on the number of impulse purchases that I would have normally bought if I was walking around the store and getting tempted by displays. Once you get home from the grocery store, there's some ways that you can set up your kitchen to help make the healthy choice the easy choice, not just for you, but for your whole family. People are more likely to eat foods that are visible and convenient. So the goal is to make healthy foods more visible and more convenient and make less healthy foods less visible and less convenient. On the healthy food side, you can put a bowl of beautiful fruit on your countertop. You'll be surprised how often your kids will grab a banana or apple for snack if it's the first thing that they see. You can also wash and cut up fruits and put them in clear containers at eye level in the refrigerator so that they're an easy, attractive, convenient snack. Ideally, you won't have much junk food in the house, but I know that this can be difficult, especially if you live with other people. So if you do have junk food in the house, You want to put it on a top shelf or in a closed designated cabinet or in the refrigerator door where you're less likely to see it and be tempted by it. And it can also be incredibly helpful just to put things in opaque containers that you can't see through, or to cover things up with foil instead of plastic wrap. And I saw this in action in my own house. One of my daughters likes to make chocolate chip cookies, and she made some the other day. They were sitting on the counter and were disappearing at a pretty alarming rate because everybody who walked by would see them, get tempted, grab one, and eat it. But I put some foil over the top of it, and the rate that they were being eaten at really reduced. And I think they actually last for several more days because of it, because people were no longer just seeing it and being tempted by it. They were only eating them if they were really seeking them out. There are also some ways to make the healthy choice the easy choice when it comes to physical activity. You can set out your exercise clothes and shoes the night before so that you're ready to go. Some people who are really committed to this strategy will even sleep in their clothes so that they wake up and can exercise right away without any excuses. You can also keep exercise clothes and shoes in your car so that if you have some extra time during the day, you can take a walk or go to the gym. If you join a gym, you should choose a gym that is close to your house or your kid's school or your work, somewhere that's on your kind of well-worn path as you travel through your day-to-day life. You're much more likely to go to it if it's easy and on the way somewhere else than if you're having to travel way out of your way to go to the gym or an exercise class. You can also treat exercise like it's an appointment. Plan it in advance, put it in your calendar, and also stick to a regular schedule. I think the regular schedule part of this can be huge. If you know that you're going to exercise every day before work, or that you're going to take a walk every night after dinner, or you're going to do an exercise class with your friends every 2 p.m. on Saturday, it just becomes an automatic habit. And it's a lot easier to stick with that than if on a day-to-day basis you're trying to figure out how and when and what you're going to do for exercise. And then the last tip is to do something called temptation bundling. And this is when you combine an activity that you want to do and that you really enjoy with something that you know that you should do but might not enjoy so much. So in this case, it would be combining exercise with some form of entertainment that you really enjoy. So you would commit to only listen to your favorite audiobook or podcast, or to watch your favorite TV show while you're exercising. And this can actually be really helpful. I only watch guilty pleasure TV shows while I'm on the elliptical machine, and sometimes I find myself really looking forward to getting on the elliptical machine or exercising longer than I had planned because I'm so caught up in the show. Even the best medication can't work if you don't take it. But life can get really busy sometimes, and it can be easy to get distracted and miss doses. So this is another area where you want to make the healthy choice the easy choice and make it as easy as possible for yourself to stay on track with your medications. There are several tips for doing this. The first is just to take your medication at the same time every day. This way it becomes a habit and more automatic. You can also try linking it to another daily activity. So put your pill bottles by your toothbrush or coffee maker, so that serves as a prompt to take your medication every day. Some people find it really helpful to set up reminders on their phone. If you have a complicated medical regimen, it can be really helpful to put out all your doses for the week in a pill box. If you take medications twice a day, there are nice ones that have components for both morning and evening pills. And lastly, it can be really helpful to set up auto refill at your pharmacy because that way you'll never run out of medication. This concludes today's session. Thank you very much for your time and attention. I hope you've learned some useful tips that will help you make the healthy choice the easy choice in your life and support your heart health. If you're interested in more information on heart health, you can go to the VDH website. I've listed the website address here along with a QR code that will take you there. Thank you very much and have a wonderful day.